Who's next?
Knocks once and
Greetings, Exile. It's me, the guy who makes off-meta trash builds that nobody asked for. Today, I'm bringing you another abomination of a build, but this time, it's on a Gemling. But you see, I'm still a warrior at heart, so I'm still cosplaying as one. For this build, we're using the new and improved Blistering Bond Ring. This item went from absolute trash to absolute treasure in patch 0.5. It now has a modifier that causes fire damage to also contribute towards bleed magnitude. This is essentially blood buffs from Blood Mage, but only for fire damage. And if you combine it with Avatar of Fire, it practically becomes the same thing, as every other damage type also gets converted to fire. This allows us to inflict both Ignite and Bleed by scaling both of them through fire damage. On top of that, any modifier that grants increased ailment magnitude now benefits both elements at the same time, giving us incredible value for a single stack. But a bleed build is no good if the bleed isn't aggravated. So to make sure that every bleed that we inflict is aggravated, we use Saitha Spear in our weapon swap. Not only does it aggravate bleeding, but it also aggravates our Ignite at the same time, effectively doubling our damage for both elements. Hence the name Reverse Cauterizer, as we burn them even more to make them bleed instead of closing their wounds. Now, since this is a Gemling build, we all know the real reason we are playing it: Advanced Thaumaturgy, which unlocks the alternate quality version of skill gems. So let's start with our main damage skill, the Perfect Strike. It's a skill that's notoriously difficult to time, but when released perfectly, it deals an absurd amount of fire damage while also inflicting an incredibly powerful ignite, making the perfect choice for our build. Normally, this skill takes up to 2 to 3 business days to finish channeling, but with its alternate quality, it gains a huge amount of attack speed, making the channel dramatically faster. Here's a comparison between the normal and alternate quality versions. You can clearly see how the normal version takes forever to charge, while the alternate quality version is significantly faster. And keep in mind, this demonstration is being done with a mace that has very low attack speed, so with a proper mace it will be much faster. Next, we have our main clearing skill, the Bone Shatter. This gains massive area of effect from its alternate quality. An area of effect so massive that a warrior can only dream about it. And to prime enemies for Bone Shatter, we use Stampede, which also gains increased area of effect through its alternate quality, allowing us to prime an entire pack of monsters with a single use. After that, we have Rake, which gains chance to aggravate bleeding through its alternate quality. And if we combine that with the aggravate chance from the Saitha Spear and internal bleeding node, we reach 86% chance to aggravate bleeding. This pretty much guarantees that both our bleed and ignite become aggravated within 1 or 2 hits. Lastly, the department this build was most lacking in was defenses. So I decided to integrate block in this build as a defensive layer, and for that we are using Magma Barrier, whose normal quality grants increased block chance while its alternate quality grants maximum block chance, making it the perfect skill for defense. Now that you know how all the skills work, let's talk about the combo you need to perform to deal maximum damage. First, we use Infernal Cry to empower our next attack. Then we channel Perfect Strike and release it with perfect timing. Once the target is both bleeding and ignited, we switch to Rake to aggravate the bleed, which also aggravates the ignite. This sequence alone will kill most bosses, but if somehow the target still survives, simply repeat the combo. And if you have generated enough glory, pop Ancestral Cry as well for an even bigger damage boost. Now, before we wrap up, let's talk about my next and final update for this build, which I assure you will come much sooner, as I've already prepared most of the gear for it. First of all, I'm going to start using Alder Legacy Rune for Adherent Tusk, which grants 50% chance to inflict bleeding and even reduces the effect of slowing debuffs on us. With this particular change, I will be able to swap out Bleed 3, which I'm currently forced to use to cap out my bleed chance on more skills, which will allow me to use other supports that will provide much more damage and utility. Then I'm going to craft a suitable amulet that grants gem quality so I can boost all of my skills even further. After that, I'm going to craft a pair of gloves that grants a lot of ailment magnitude. We will also craft a much better mace that grants a lot more elemental and physical damage, alongside much higher attack speed than the one we are currently using. For the skill tree, we will craft a 5 modifier jewel to boost our damage even further and also add a prism of belief with +3 to level up Perfect Strike. And overall, I will be improving rest of the gear as well. Now, I can't cover every single thing in such a short video. So to help you level smoothly and do endgame comfortably, I've once again written a detailed mobilitics guide. So do check it out as it contains much more information than what I can provide here. If you like these type of off-meta trash builds, make sure to complete all the formalities by liking, subscribing, and even pressing that notification bell. As always, thanks for watching Exile.